We're gonna move forward. So, Shawn, pull it up. Game awards have happened, or they haven't happened. They're coming up. I need to take that day off. Actually, what day is that? December 10th. Okay, because I want to stream that like I did last year. Um, because thanks to me streaming that, people were able to literally physically watch the soul leave my body when Fortnite when Fortnite was able to steal the best community or some award from Final Fantasy 14, bro. Well, my soul literally left my body, bro. And it was funny. Every I watched a few reactions of people that were watching them too. Every other person was like, "Yeah, Final Fantasy 14 probably has this." And then it goes to Fortnite. Everyone's like, "What the fuck?" Oh, it's all for our boy Donald Mustard, so they could share that Star Wars bullshit they did. God, I lost so much faith in this award show when they did that. But hey, it is what it is. We're back here again. We're gonna talk about some stuff. So Shawn, you want to? I think we should do Game of the Year last because that's the big award. We'll start at the second one and go down.
Alrighty, pulling it back up.
All right, I'll read the nominations while you pull it up. So we have best. Okay, we're just like we do every year. We do this every year. It's always fun, engaging, kind of. I also this time I'm gonna track it, Shawn. I have to get a piece of paper and write it down. I promise.
You tracked it last time. You just lost it.
But I won't lose it this time. All right, so I got paper. This paper is gonna go in my very important folder that is totally real and exists. And so we're gonna start. Okay. The only thing is there's so many awards.
Yeah, but there's only a handful that fucking matter.
No. I just mean like for tracking
I've
it.
got the website up, but I don't. When I try and log in through Google, which is how I logged in,
you don't remember
through my phone. No, the pop-up window for the Google login never loads, so it just stays blank. So I can't fucking log in online. So I'm gonna log in on my phone.
Okay, no problem.
TheGameAwards.com.
Actually, while you do that, bro, we're coming into the 21st century here, boys. I'm making an Excel sheet. I'm making an Excel sheet. Oh man, we're doing it all on the show because this is how we work here, fellas. If you haven't fucking realized, but
dicks out, fucking cleaning our earwax, fucking itching and burping, and we keep it loose.
Same thing. Just like my asshole. I always keep that loose too. Never know, just in case.
Sitting on a thermos, ladies and gentlemen.
Pretty much. Just fucking got that. I was typing the Excel. Oh, I hate you. I'll have you know. Hate you.
Yeah, I thrive off the hate.
That's good. Gotta be able to.
Oh, look, I'm already logged in. Oh, how
Nice.
invasive.
Hey, that's
subscribe to the Game Awards website and show updates? No thanks, or let's do this. No thanks. Like, I need more fucking emails that I'm not gonna read, you fucking whores.
Yeah.
Nominees. No, that's not what I need. Where's the... I guess I just scroll... vote now? There we go, yeah. Go vote now! Already did! I have had it with the fucking amount of fuck-ups on this website. It is constantly having problems.
Alright, so I made a really shit Excel document, and this is what I'll use every year. I'll just delete the stuff, the actual picks. Because usually the awards stay about the same. But hey, we do the country girls make do, as they say. So yeah, so we have Best Game Direction. Awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. And the nominees are Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades. Is it Hades or Hades, Shawn? So I'm going to say this a lot today.
Hades! Like you didn't already know that before you asked me, you prick.
I love you and fucking with you and everyone that tunes in that face palms. All right, so we have Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Half-Life Alyx, and The Last of Us Part 2. This is for Best Game Direction. So I picked Tsushima for this one. So
My shit's not loading. But I either picked. I think because I disagree with how Final Fantasy VII Remake ended. I don't think I gave it direction. I think I gave that to Tsushima as well.
okay, so that's your want,
Uh,
right? What's your
uh, what I think will win is Tsushima. What I want, no, that's my want. Yeah, and
yeah?
that's also what I think will win.
Okay, I'll track that.
I mean, I'd really just like to strike The Last of Us Part 2 from the entire list.
Yeah. Hey, it is what it is. All right, next we have best narrative.
Um,
All right, so for
Final Fantasy Remake.
for outstanding storytelling and narrative development in a game, we have 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim. I don't even know what the fuck that is. We have Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, and Last of Us Part 2. I voted for 7 Remake because only the reason is because Tsushima's story was just okay. And I know the original story, so I just voted for fucking 7 Remake.
Well, you had me constantly talking about it as well.
Yeah.
When they do release it on PC, or if you just want to fuck, if you buy a copy and play it on Caitlin's PS5. Either way,
Oh yeah,
I'm
I
not
can do
fucking
that. Sure.
getting my votes on here, but I remember most of them, so fuck it, whatever.
Okay, what do you want for
Site
narrative?
sucks. Final Fantasy VII.
Okay, I will mark that.
I think the narrative, for the most part, like
Okay, real
I
quick.
blame the ending on the
Wait, wait, wait.
direction, not the narrative. They can't change the overall narrative all that much.
Before we talk about it, just so we get them down, what do you think realistically will win? Do you also think it's 7?
I think it's a toss up between 7, Tsushima, and The Last of Us Part 2 because there's enough fucking, horrible taste people out there
All right, if you had to give
that
us,
might vote for Part 2. But I'd probably, realistically speaking, the problem with The Last of Us was an exclusive, right?
yes.
And Tsushima was an exclusive. Final Fantasy VII was not, right? It's also on Xbox.
My thing is with a lot of these larger awards, it's not necessarily just the popular vote. It's also the panel of judges. So in my realistic view, I think narrative will probably go Last of Us because it's full of the game journalists, and every fucking they loved it to death. So that's the only reason I think that it will get some of these awards is because the panel of judges all fucking adored the thing.
I think it's a massive crime if that game gets the respect that Tsushima and 7 Remake deserve, and I really 100% think that should go to Final Fantasy 7, and I think it's got a really good chance.
That's why we have
it.
That's why we have the want category.
I believe that the popularity bullshit. I think Last of Us 2 could give it a run for its money.
Okay,
but I don't believe that's justified.
Okay, that's fine. That's just a realistic vote. This is what we'll tally when we see who wins next, or after the week after it happens.
But I still think that Final Fantasy VII's got a chance, so I would say 50% chance between the two of them.
I can't do that. Give you an answer. I'm not taking a 50% chance, you bitch. We're competing here.
Final Fantasy VII both ways.
All right.
Fucking Last of Us 2 can eat a dick.
All right, cool.
Or a vagina. I don't really care. Pick your poison.
We're inclusive here. All right. So next we have best art direction. So this is for outstanding creative and/or technical achievement in artistic design and animation. We have Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, and The Last of Us Part 2.
This was a hard one.
I voted Tsushima, bro. That game is gorgeous.
Hades is brilliant.
No, yes.
And Ori and the Will of the Wisps is brilliant. Like, the art direction those two games is fantastic.
Yeah, they are top tier.
And Final Fantasy always has great art direction, regardless of what game it is. You can't think that Final Fantasy VII Remake wasn't going to come out fucking batting 1,000, because it definitely did.
Yeah, and it's interesting because when you consider the level that the remake of 7 had to go to take what they had originally and turn it into this 3D world, that's also there's a lot of merit there. What they were able to do, taking back on, what was it, PS1 original?
Pre-rendered backgrounds,
yeah, and taking all that and elevating it into something more akin to what would come out today is worth merit in and of itself. So that a lot of that has to do with art direction and how we're going to take this area of the map and turn it into this 3D and evolve it into this 3D area.
I voted Final Fantasy VII, but I think Ori and the Will of the Wisps also has an even chance of getting in there.
What do you think realistically?
That game is gorgeous.
So you
realistically?
Think, yeah.
I definitely don't think it's The Last of Us, because all that did was like, hey, look, it's brown.
Yeah.
Hey, look, something else that's brown. Oh, we got some gray. So I definitely don't think that one at all. While I think Hades is brilliant, and it had great art direction, and it's a great game, and I'm glad that I have it on Switch. It is one of the best titles on Switch currently. I don't think I think it's mostly been spread word of mouth. And I really don't think it's made enough noise.
A lot of journalists really adore Hades. It's gotten like upwards of like 30 like 10 out of 10s from game journalists. So I think it's pretty big. It's just I think in the mainstream it's not talked about often.
Much.
I think it was critically very well received.
Wasn't in the mainstream isn't going to get it, like critically or not. Even with the mainstream journalists, I don't think they're going to punch something in there that doesn't have enough noise. I think it's a credit to the game that it got mentioned, but I don't know. I don't think it's got a chance. So I voted for 7. I think Ori could win, but I still think 7's got the best chance.
Okay. All right, I'll put that in.
I think Ghost of Tsushima is beautiful, but I mean, I don't know. I don't get the same kind of art direction kind of feel off of it like I do off of the others.
I do heavily. I think realistically it can go to it too. It really depends. There's a lot of variables going on, but I think the world that Tsushima made is top tier, and a lot of that is done through the art direction. So I think it's got a high chance. So
I can agree with that.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting because a lot of people will look at it because there is the technical side and there is the creative side as well. And Tsushima, on a technical level, when you get down to the nitty gritty and look at the models, it's not as pretty as some of the other games on this list. But on a creative level, I think it excels over everything else. Whereas like Last of Us, I think is the other side. On a technical level, Last of Us 2 is fucking fantastic. But in a creative sense, it's weary, drab, and all that other shit, right? So it's not as interesting as any of these other titles. But on a technical sense, it's insane that it runs on a PS4 at 30. So it's interesting. I don't know how they even like manage that in regards to the votes, but they probably don't. They just throw a dart at a board. Oh, I love talking shit about the Game Awards. Fuck you. Give Final Fantasy
where like one thing is really, really large and the other thing is the size of a bottle cap.
Yeah. Give Final Fantasy its award. You stole it.
Of course.
All right. So next we have Best Score in Music. We have for Outstanding Music.
Final Fantasy VII.
Inclusive of score, original song, and or licensed soundtrack. So there's Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Hades, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Last of Us Part 2. I'm heavily biased here. I think we both are towards our respective choices, but the music in Doom and Doom Eternal is some of the best action music I've ever heard ever. It's fucking phenomenal. So I easily voted for that, and I think it has a pretty high chance of winning too. But I also think Final Fantasy also has a high chance of winning as well. And I don't know at what point these awards start to turn into popularity votes. And I don't think the panel judges vote on every award. They may not even vote on these lower ones. I think they might just do Game of the Year. I'm not 100% sure. Feel free to correct me if you do know. But
I have no idea. I didn't look it up.
I did Doom, and realistically,
but I've heard all of the Final Fantasy soundtrack, and I loved it enough that I bought it. And I bought the fucking $250 collector's edition one. Which was very limited.
Shawn, you know your last 3 awards fall in Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, no, it swept it, man. It swept it.
I think Last of Us might sweep, and that makes me really sad. I hope it doesn't. Okay.
Final Fantasy swept it for me. Like, I didn't just play favorites. I easily weighed things. Like I've told you, I have a deep amount of admiration for Ori and for Hades. The only game on this list that I haven't played at least some of is The Last of Us Part 2, and I watched a good chunk of it and just have so little interest in that game. It's insane.
I literally watched all of it in like a day and a half. I
I
watched some
couldn't
playthrough.
sit through all of it. It was
It was
so
very
bad. I just
difficult.
couldn't.
Okay.
You did it for journalistic integrity, but I don't have to have integrity. I just hate things.
That's why when we do have an episode on this if you want to hear our thoughts and you haven't yet. But we only spoke on the story because I did not play the game. I can't really speak to the gameplay, and we said that early, or I hope we did. I don't know. We said at some point. It was said. All right. So we have best audio design, recognizing the best in-game audio and sound design. We have Doom Eternal, Half-Life Alyx, Ghost of Tsushima, Resident Evil 3, and Last of Us Part 2.
I voted Tsushima.
I voted Tsushima as well. Now, I think it could easily go to Last of Us because I've heard from a lot of people that the audio and just when Naughty Dog's kind of along the lines of like Rockstar, when they go ham, like all the way, especially on the technical side. So I heard that the way that they designed the audio was really fucking good. And
The sound design in the first one was fantastic.
Yeah, and I've played only 3 of these titles. I haven't touched Resident Evil 3. And I've watched Last of Us, but Doom Eternal is good. It's very good at giving you that visceral feeling. But I really liked just, the world. The sound of the world in Tsushima, the look of the world in Tsushima. Everything was so good and created this phenomenal world that you could explore through. And everything reinforced it. And the audio was definitely there on that part too. So that's what I said. You said Tsushima too, Shawn, for best audio design? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And for realistic, I can see it going to Last of Us for this one, realistically. What do you think?
No, I think Tsushima's got this one hands down.
Okay. Gotcha. This won't be as slow next year because we'll have the sheet already. I don't know why I didn't think of this ahead of time. Excel didn't even cross my mind. I was just gonna write it on paper. Even when I thought about it, like, oh yeah, we're gonna have to make a list. I'll write it on paper, like I'm in the 1700s. All right, so we have best performance. We have
I voted Daisuke.
We have awarded to an individual. So that's the Japanese voice actor? Okay.
Yeah.
Individual for voice over acting, motion, and or performance and capture. I actually voted for Miles, although this was early after watching someone play through the story of Miles Morales, and I really liked Najee Jeter as Miles. I think he did a really good job, and this Miles that we have in the game is really good, and I like his character a lot. So I voted for him. I think this is going to go to one of the... There's 2 Last of Us characters. I think it's going to go to one of the Last of Us characters 100%, but I voted for Miles. All right, so Shawn voted for Jin. I think realistically, I'm going to say Abby, realistically. She's a fan favorite of the journos.
Fuck that.
So what do you think realistically? You going to say Jin?
Realistically, no, I don't. I think it's more likely to be Jeter than
Miles?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Miles has a good chance of it, especially considering the political climate of the last year. I think that he's going to get some favoritism, but I think I've listened to that voice actor and I listened to Tsuji's performance, and I'm definitely very much a fan of his performance.
Yeah, he did a really good job.
I have very little respect for anything that was done on The Last of Us Part 2, but I think the voice actors did give it their all, and they had good voice actors.
I think the performances in Last of Us were really good. I
just think the writing was doo-doo.
Yeah, the writing was bad, but I think the performances were good.
I don't think their performances were better than his, though.
Okay. I got Games for Impact. This is a thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message. I haven't played a single one of these, so I voted randomly. I voted
for Kentucky Route Zero.
Okay.
It's a really interesting game.
I
don't understand why it's supposed to be thought-provoking. I mean, I guess I get it, but that's the only one I'm familiar with.
I don't know where realistically this could go to. I'm going to say Tell Me Why, but I have no idea. Tell me why ain't nothing but a heartbreak. What do you want, Shawn, for this? What'd you pick? You said Kentucky?
Kentucky Road Zero.
Kentucky. Okay.
It's
All
a
right.
really interesting game.
What about realistically? Same thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the one that's made the most noise out of all of them.
Gotcha.
Although Spirit Fair's got a good chance of it, but I think Kentucky Road Zero. I
Next.
don't know how. I really. It's fucking weird though. The anthropomorphic and the tactics kind of angle. Best ongoing, I believe, was the next one.
Yes, sir. We have Best Ongoing, awarded to a game for outstanding development of ongoing content that evolves the player experience over time.
I voted No Man's Sky.
I did as well. I think that they've done a lot to resuscitate that game, and it has come a long way from where it came originally. There's still a lot of work that can be done, but it's definitely come a ways, and I think they deserve some merit for that. Do you think realistically you want to say No Man's Sky as well? I can see it going to...
Realistically, I'm thinking it's probably going to go to like Fortnite or Call of Duty.
If they take it
or
again
Apex.
this year, bro, I'm gonna fucking...
I don't think Apex is as big a game, so I'm going to guess Call of Duty or Fortnite, because fuck them. But they are the big ones.
Which one? I need a single.
Fuck, man, I don't know.
It's just a guess, man.
It's all trash to me. I'm gonna guess Call of Duty.
Okay. I think Warzone might get it too. Because Warzone's been really good for support and stuff. Next we have Best Indie. Let me write this down real quick. All right, Best Indie for outstanding creative and technical achievement in a game made outside the traditional publisher system.
I voted Hades.
We have Carry On, Fall Guys, Ultimate Knockout, Hades, Spelunky 2, and Spiritfarer. I also voted Hades, and I think Hades will win this as well.
Don't get me wrong, Spelunky's a fantastic fucking game, but I voted Hades hard, because that game is just a banger.
It's so good. Every
I wish they had a 2-player version of it, because we could play together.
Yeah,
it's a good game. If you haven't bought it yet.
Oh my god, I own it. I have it on Switch too. Although I kind of regret it because I'd rather play it on my PC, but it is what it is. But it's phenomenal. Every game by Supergiant has been like a knockout of the park for the most part, in my opinion. Next, okay, so we have Best Mobile Game for the best game playable on a mobile device. And if you've heard us, you know my vote. I voted Genshin.
I voted Genshin Impact.
Yeah. I want Genshin to win something, because what they do have.
The only thing that frightens me is the more positive attention Genshin gets. This is the problem we've got. You know for a 100% fact that Activision,
Shawn, they've been doing it for years already, dog.
Arts,
it's been going on for years already.
Nothing to the degree that Genshin has. Nothing that EA and
Should I introduce FIFA?
Have done.
Do I have to introduce FIFA to the table?
Even with FIFA, man. Even with FIFA, it's not the same kind of level. Like they don't make it so that you have a very difficult time progressing through the game if you don't buy.
That's all Ultimate Team FIFA is, dude. It's a fucking card game. That's all it is. If you want stronger teams, you buy card packs, and it resets every year. That's all FIFA is people spend hundreds of dollars to get the best Ultimate Team.
I'm just saying, like, it's only... Then say that's true. Say that FIFA
it is
and
true.
the NBA
They've been doing this shit for years.
Are on the same level as Genshin.
They are.
Genshin isn't a sports game, and those tactics have only survived in sports games. The better Genshin does, the more... Because Genshin, I think, is going to be a game changer. And the absolute immorality of how hard they've assaulted players, you've got the big three. They're taking note of that, and be prepared for that shit to be in mainstream gaming beyond the sports titles. That's all I'm saying. But I still voted for Genshin because it's a fun as fuck game.
Realistically, what do you think is going to win? I think Fall Guys.
Realistically, I think Among Us is going to win.
That's what I meant, Among Us. I hope not. In regards, because I think the level of effort across both Genshin is far above, but it is what it is. I have a feeling it will win it too, just because of how fucking big it was.
I still like Among Us, and I still would like to play that some more.
Yeah,
But
definitely. The
I
thing is,
don't.
you need it. You need the whole fucking group to do it. That's the part that sucks. You can't play that with 2 or 3 people. You need a whole ass group to play that with. It's the only part that sucks ass about it. Okay, best community support. Recognizing a game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness, inclusive of social media activity and game updates / patches. We have Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout, Fortnite, No Man's Sky, and Valorant. I give
Once again, I voted for No Man's Sky.
I give it to Valorant. Because Valorant wasn't an option before, and I think the community support behind Valorant and how open they've been with the community, how responsive they've been to the community, has all been top tier. And usually League's pretty good about that, or just Riot in general is pretty good about being in tune with their community. Now they obviously have their pitfalls. They haven't been doing it that good for all the time. Everyone that has ever played League for more than one season just giggled at me. But you know what I mean. They still try very hard to grow and maintain and respect their community, and I think they're deserving of an award for that. I think it can go to I think it might. I don't know, because I think these were getting to like populist votes, so I don't really know to be sure. I'm just gonna throw Valorant again. I don't know, but you put No Man's Sky. You think realistically there too?
Yeah, I mean, this guy's been really, really good about supporting.
No, 100%. Yeah. Why is it not?
Don't get me wrong. I don't have a lot of interest in the game. I mean, I go back to it every so often, mainly because I talked a friend of mine into joining in, and then he's like, "Hey, you playing?" I'm like, "No, I don't want to play anymore." And he's like, "Oh," and I'm like, "All right, I'll join in." And then I'd go in, and I just did a big ass patch that added a whole bunch of shit to it.
When I first got my VR headset, I tried it in VR, and it runs like dog shit, poo poo fart in VR, so it's not good. All right. So we have best VR / AR for the best game experience, playable in virtual or augmented reality, irrespective of platform. I did Half-Life Alyx because that game is hands down the best VR experience I've had. It is fucking great. It is so good. So the only thing is, I don't know if that game came out this year. I don't know if it did. I feel like it's older than a year, but I don't know. No. They have Among Us in there, and that game's 2 years old. It came out in 2018, so I think realistically, I might go to Half-Life 2. What do you think, Shawn? Realistically,
I voted Half-Life Alyx. I think Alex has got it hard.
Okay, I think so too. There's some people that bought VR just for that game solely, like because they wanted to play it. So next we have innovation in accessibility, which is this is a new topic. This is interesting. Hasn't been done before. Recognizing software and or hardware that is pushing the medium forward by adding features, technology, and content to help games be played and enjoyed by an even wider audience. We have Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Grounded, Hyper Dot, Last of Us Part 2, and Watch Dogs Legion. I put how do you spell accessibility? What the fuck?
I voted for Grounded.
I don't even know what Grounded does. That's in regards to accessibility.
Well, seeing as how I am a very honest person, I hate Ubisoft.
You Christmas tree.
And I hate The Last of Us Part 2.
It is what it is.
I don't know what Hyperdot is, but that image looks boring as fuck.
What do you think realistically?
And I know what Grounded is, so Grounded got my vote.
Nice. What do you think realistically?
Probably The Last of Us.
Yeah, I think so too. Everyone kind of praised it for its accessibility features, and it's got a lot. It's got a fucking shitload. So I think it deserves it in that regard.
It's got support for blowing into tubes and shit.
All right, we have best action game. For the best game in the action genre, focus primarily on combat. So I usually, when I treat this like it had the best combat of what I've played. And there's Doom Eternal, Hades, Half-Life Alyx, Neo 2, and Streets of Rage 4. Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal is such a good fucking game.
I wanted Streets of Rage 4 to get it, but I know Doom Eternal is going to get it.
Okay, so you wanted Streets of Rage 4, but think it's going to go to Doom. Okay. Next, we have Best Action / Adventure. Okay, I gotta type this out. That's why we're so slow today, folks. Oh, we're always kind of slow, so it don't matter. Okay. So best action/adventure. We have for the best action/adventure game combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving. We have Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Ghost of Tsushima, Spider-Man's Miles Morales. I don't know how the fuck this game got on here because it just came out, but Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and Last of Us 2. I put Tsushima.
I did too.
Yeah, I think Tsushima's combat and just exploration and world in general is fucking phenomenal. To the degree, I think it could actually win the award too. And this would be like at this time in the show, if I do get the chance to stream it, if Last of Us wins this award, I'm shutting down the stream. Because at that point, there's no point in watching anymore. Because this shit's so fucking so far up its own ass, it doesn't even matter anymore. So you want Tsushima too, or realistically you're on Tsushima?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think so too. I think it's got a chance there. Best role playing. I think I know Shawn's answer here.
yeah. I don't think I really need to say any farther.
Okay.
First of all, I love Shin Megami Tensei and Persona, but wasn't Persona 5 up for this? Is it fair to bring up a remaster?
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. And Persona didn't win the first one. Actually, it went to Nier, deservingly. Well, actually,
yeah, but Nier's not a role playing game.
no,
It
yeah,
was
I
an
know.
action
I'm
game.
gaming. It is again same thing, bro. You know what one? You know what one? You know what one? Wait, didn't I think 1 year Monster Hunter won RPG too? Monster Hunter's not really an RPG game either.
At all.
Yeah, so but I did
I don't
want
think anybody even fucking knows what that means anymore.
I voted for
So, like,
Genshin
is it a
here.
video game? It's an RPG.
Yeah. There's RPG somewhere. I think it might go to Persona because it didn't win it last time.
Yeah, but Persona hasn't made any noise this year. Even when when Royal came out, it didn't make any noise.
Okay, what do you want to win?
I think Final Fantasy VII. What I want to win is it's kind of a split between Final Fantasy VII and Persona. Persona is a better role-playing game overall. It's not a fucking hybrid action blah 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 make the Westerners happy kind of bullshit.
Oh yeah. That
compromise that 7 ended up being. If 7's narrative and voice acting and visuals and love for its story wasn't so strong, like if I didn't feel like the people that made that game adore Final Fantasy VII's characters, I think I would have been 100% for 5 because Final Fantasy VII has problems. And they made some very odd decisions. It's kind of a hybrid between the original Japanese script and the bastardized American version that we got back when 7 was initially released. Some of the characters have been changed to fit more of the American or the westernized version as opposed to what they actually were. But in the original Japanese release, but yet some of the nuance to those characters has been restored from the original Japanese release. Like Aerith's nuance, for instance, she's a lot smarter, she's a lot sassier than she was in the Western release. So they've kind of done this strange hybrid of the two, which was a big disappointment for me. But I think overall it's much better than nothing, and I feel like they did try.
nice.
I mean, it's kind of a difficult decision, I'm sure. Like, do we stick with the original story, or do we give them what they remembered? And then it's not like they made I don't know. But I think 7 was probably the best role-playing game that I played this year. If you want to call it a role-playing game, it's really not exactly that. But I think that 5, on a technical level, achieves everything that I want from my role-playing game. So that's not an easy one for me to answer. I think if I had to be brutally 100% honest, I would say I'm like 60% Persona 5 and 40% Final Fantasy 7 as to what I want to win. But what I think will win would be Final Fantasy 7. Genshin is absolutely not a role-playing game at all. Wasteland 3 is. Yakuza isn't.
Yakuza Like a
Final
Dragon
Fantasy
is.
7.
It's a turn-based game, Like a Dragon. It's a turn-based RPG. What the fuck are you talking about? It's like
Is it
that
really
was
that? All the
yeah.
trailers I watched look like that. All right, I take that back. Then I
Yeah, you
talking
like
out my ass.
you build your team and shit. I mean,
I
and
know I'm going to buy that fucking thing and I'm going to play it, but I know Genshin does not belong in this list
I
whatsoever.
mean, it
Genshin
in
is
a
a fucking
technical
action
level,
adventure game.
in a technical level, you do custom. Well, you do have there is to a degree character customization and progression. So in
Yeah,
their
but that's
and that
one element
in
of
their
role playing.
terms, in their terms of a role playing game, it technically is one. Not in a more conventional term like what we're looking at it as, but I'm just saying I could understand why it's there.
I still can't wrap my head around that. The only 3 games on here that belong on here is Yakuza Wasteland and Persona.
It's more of an
And then
RPG than
Final Fantasy
fucking Monster
VII
Hunter is.
only has like half a claim. Genshin has 0, but it is what it is.
I think it's there.
I am kind of happy to see that the part of Genshin that still keeps me playing, despite how much I hate elements of that game and I am disgusted by what they do. The game itself, outside of those trappings, is still wonderful. It's still good. It's just, it's a weird place for me to be where like I don't want to support it, but I love what I do get outside of the money cost so much that it puts me in a very strange place where it kind of makes me into a hypocrite, but at least I'm willing to admit it.
Best fighting game. For the best game design primarily around head-to-head combat, we have Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, Mortal Kombat 11, Ultimate, Street Fighter 5, Champion Edition, One Punch Man, Hero Nobody Knows. I don't know why the fuck that's on there either. Or that game was trash. Oh, I always feel like they just kind of like dig in the bargain box for the fighting category.
I don't know what Under Night, because Under Night is an older game, I thought.
No, they're still making them. In Rebirth EXE late came out this year. It was just in a. They just had it in. It wasn't.
Play that.
It wasn't Evo, but when Evo was canceled, they had a bunch of people doing smaller tournaments, and this is one tournament they did. And I've heard a lot of good things about Under Night, and a lot of people love it. So it felt like the underdog.
I played the first one.
It felt like the underdog in this case. So I gave it my vote.
I voted for Grand Blue because it's awesome. Mostly, and
I think
plus
it can go to
I
Grand
like
Blue.
every Arc System Works game.
Yeah,
I voted Grand Blue, but I think Mortal Kombat will take it, even though that game is trash.
All right, Grand Blue.
Mostly because they fucked the story, but that's the mechanics are still sound. They slowed it down a lot, made it more casual, approachable, which is disappointing. Also, why is it Crash Bandicoot 4 came out and I didn't know? Like I was actually following that and I didn't know.
It came out a while ago.
Did they like sneak it out and like didn't say anything? I didn't hear anything about it. I was expecting. I should have also been notified.
I think 100%.
I'm not going to buy it because I can't support Activision, but I wanted to play it.
I think 100% this is Animal Crossing, like no doubt. That game was fucking.
Oh, the family one?
Yeah, I didn't even read that. I'm sorry. Yeah, best family for the game, perfect family play irrespective of genre or platform.
Yeah,
Animal Crossing, 100%. There's no way this isn't getting this award. That'd be the other time of the stream that I just
was trash.
That's
a bad game.
That's like, another time of the stream where if it doesn't go to Animal Crossing, I just turn the stream off if it hasn't happened already. You said Animal Crossing for Want too. Like, did you vote for Animal Crossing?
Want, I would like to see Crash get an award, but but it's not out of any justification except that I want Crash back. I just want it out of Activision's hands. Like I want Naughty Dog or like not Naughty Dog. Who did Jak and Daxter?
Naughty Dog.
Who did the other one? The other one.
With the it was Insomniac, I'm pretty sure. Ratchet and Clank?
Yeah, Insomniac, Ratchet and Clank. That's who I want to have Crash Bandicoot. I want Activision to lose all rights to this character that they continue to rape prison style, and I want Insomniac to have him. I also want Jak and Daxter to be taken from and given to Insomniac. I think Insomniac is the perfect studio to do those goofy, fun, technically adept, deep, fantastic platforming action adventure games. I think they are the best studio for that kind of shit, and I think that Naughty Dog can't be trusted anymore.
Okay. Next we have Sim Strategy. I voted for the Microsoft Sim thing only because it made like a huge wave when it came out, so I think it's gonna win. What do you think?
I voted Gears Tactics.
Okay, so I didn't even read it. Oh, man, I'm fucking this up. So Crusader Kings 3, Desperados 3, Gear Tactics, Microsoft Flight Simulator, and XCOM Chimera Squad. Chimera, whatever. All right. Do you think realistically Gears will win too?
No, I think realistically, you're probably looking at like Flight Sim or Crusader Kings.
All right, I'll throw you in Flight Sim. Next, we have best sports slash racing. These are the awards we don't care about, people. All right, so best traditional and non-traditional. Should we even track these? Should we even? I guess we should.
I voted Tony Hawk.
I did too, and I really think Tony Hawk's going to win as well. But it's Dirt 5, F1 2020, FIFA 2021, NBA 2K21. I think both the 2K and FIFA are either of those win. That's a fucking trash piece right there.
Yep.
All right, so sports where Tony Hawk across the board. I'm pretty sure Tony Hawk's going to win.
I was disgusted with multiplayer. Like, all the good multiplayer games that are out there, and this is what you fucking voted on. This is what made it in there. I think I voted for Valorant.
I think I did too, because I love Valorant. Okay, next we have best multiplayer.
I heard you guys talk about it.
Animal Crossing, what the fuck? Animal Crossing, Among Us, Warzone, Fall Guys, and Valorant. I think I voted Valorant. I'm pretty sure it can go to, like, we'll see it on Warzone or Among Us.
I think Fall Guys, I'll take it.
I'm gonna do Warzone. But you voted for Valorant. Realistically, you think it's... I don't even know why I'm tracking what game we wanted at this point. But whatever, I'm already doing it. And then you think Fall Guys. Okay, we'll win it. I don't even know why would I track what we wanted? That doesn't even make any sense.
I don't know why you decided that last year, but that's a thing you do.
No, I like saying it, but there's no reason for me to keep track of that, because that's not even what's going to be tallied in the final when we come back and say who won. Whatever.
It's just something you like to say when we revisit it. Revisiting it, we wanted this, but we thought this, and this is who won.
All right. Content creator of the year. I voted Tim the Tatman because I love him, and I think he
voted for Ray because I'm a fan of Ray. I watch her a lot. She does a lot of shit with Jacksepticeye and PewDiePie and shit like that. Valkyrie.
Okay, yeah. It's Alana Pierce, J. Ann Lopez, Nick Merckx, Tim the Tatman, and Valkyrie. I think I'm subbed to her. Also, Alana Pierce, I've heard a lot of people liking on her too. She's awesome too, by the way. She used to be a fun house.
She's very cool.
And she's separated from them, but so I think she can win. So you said Valk, and you think Valk's gonna win too?
Yeah, I voted for Ray.
But do you think she's gonna win realistically?
Who do I think will win? I think it'll be Tim the Tatman.
Did I not vote for debut?
He's super popular.
Yeah, Tim Tatman's huge, so I think he's gonna win too. We'll see. And I get to see his fast walk on stage if he does. Wait, they may not even do a stage thing for that. Some of them they just announce in between ad breaks or some shit. They don't even fucking have people come up for it. All right, next we have debut game.
I was torn on debut game because I was torn between Mortal Shell and Phasmophobia, just because Mortal Shell is a really good attempt for an indie studio to do a Souls game.
Yeah.
And there's some really interesting things in that game. And whereas it's nowhere near perfect, like, I think if you enjoy Souls games, it's a worthy purchase and it's a really good thing to go into. But outside of my enjoyment of challenging games and the fact that I really like the visuals in that game, because it kind of sits somewhere in between the visuals in Neo with the visuals in Demon Souls and the visuals in Dark Souls, because in Mortal Shell you're fighting like these various monsters, and they're a little bit like, there's like frog dudes, and they get a little bit more creative than what I've seen in Demon Souls and Dark Souls. I mean, a lot of the shit you're fighting is like, big werewolves or suited armored up things. Lots of shit in those fucking games have armor. And the stuff in Mortal Shell, you do have armored enemies, but there's a lot more just like strangely organic monsters that you fight. Like big ass fucking bugs and amphibians and reptiles and things. And I thought that was kind of interesting. But Phasmophobia far and away just seems to spread more joy. Yeah. And just, it looks so much more fun that I couldn't, as much as I want Mortal Shell to win, like I definitely voted for Phasmophobia all the way. Like, that's one dude. Like, it's a really impressive outing for one guy.
Okay, so this is important. We'll talk about these, but do we track the categories we don't give a fuck about? Because the thing is, we don't know these, and these go down to popular vote. So these will just be more like wild cards when it comes to the final tally. Do we track these on our total score, like esports athlete, esports
Like
coach?
esports athletes.
Yeah, events. I mean, the games we can track, but like the hosts and all that other shit, it'd just be rolling a die at that point, and it can affect the final score unfairly because it's left to RNG. So it's up to you.
Well, I mean, I did look them up before I voted for them, but I
I
don't really
didn't.
follow esports. But I voted for Gunsu, Kim Gunsu.
Yeah, I'm saying I will talk about them, but do you want me to track them?
Yeah. Oh, I don't care.
Okay, I won't then, because I don't think
I voted for Kim Gunsu.
Okay, I won't
He's
track.
a League of Legends player.
I voted for Anthony Shotzi Suevas Cat. I don't know. Call of Duty. I don't fucking know. Esports coach. I voted for Fabian. I don't know.
I voted for Dahi Park.
Okay, I don't know. Esports event. I always vote for League of Legends World Champ because they always have fucking amazing esports events.
What is Owl?
Owl's a Overwatch League.
Ah, okay. I just voted for him because he's Korean. I'm not gonna lie.
Who were we looking at?
The Dahi Park.
Okay. I was confused at where you were. Okay, good. All right, so esports event. Would you vote for that?
I do not remember caring enough. I think I voted for the one where they looked the happiest. So the CS:GO,
Okay,
I think was probably the one that I voted for.
I voted for League. All right.
Like, oh, don't get me wrong. The League of Legends one has all the sexy dancers and shit. I probably should have voted for that, but I don't think I did. I think I voted for the one where it's a bunch of nerds like throwing their arms up and there's like fireworks and shit going off.
Yeah. What do you think for esports game?
Let me read what they
We
were.
have
I voted Valorant.
Okay, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Fortnite, League of Legends, and Valorant.
Oh no, I didn't. I voted Counter-Strike. I'm sorry.
All right.
I
And what do you think realistically will win? Counter-Strike?
Valorant.
Okay. All right. Next, we have
There's no way that fucking Fortnite's gonna sweep again. Fuck Fortnite.
for esports host, I did the pretty lady for the league champ, Sajox Deporter. Yeah, I did her.
What did you just butcher? Wait, say that again.
I did for best esports host. I voted for the pretty lady in the middle.
I voted for Jorian Vanderhausen.
Okay.
Shiver, the girl on the right.
Yeah, I see. So we both voted for girls. I see. All right, we had best esports team.
Yeah.
I voted for G2 Esports. I don't know any of these, so it's not even that important.
Once again, I voted for the team that looked like they were having the most fun and shit, so I voted for the San Francisco Shock Overwatch League.
Okay.
Like, they're all hugging each other and shit. I'm like, yeah, like, everybody else is, like, doing, like, tough guy poses, or it's, like, team shit. No, fuck that, man.
I'm trying to have
Like,
fun.
I'm gonna vote for men who hug each other.
Nice. All right, now finally we have Game of the Year. Recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields. I voted Tsushima.
I voted Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Okay. FF7. What do we think is gonna win?
I very, very much want them to win, like with every ounce of my being. I think they deserve it even more than any other team.
Realistically.
Who do I think is going to win Game of the Year? Probably Last of Us Part 4. But
that's what I think is going to
I'd
win.
rather see Final Fantasy VII or Ghost of Tsushima get it.
Yeah,
but
same.
I'm thinking that The Last of Us Part 4 is going to get it. Fuck them.
Yeah, same. Feeling that as well. All right, well.
I think Ghost of Tsushima has a good chance at getting it.
I do too.
Honestly, I don't think Final Fantasy VII does, just because a role-playing game has never, at least a JRPG has never held its own in Game of the Year. Within recallable memory, I don't. As a matter of fact, I don't even know if since the Game Awards started a few years back that Japanese releases have even held their own in the line. I think they've always dropped out of Game of the Year, but I think Ghost of Tsushima or Final Fantasy VII are the deserving ones. I personally think Final Fantasy VII deserves it the most, but I think it's going to be a toss-up. What's going to end up being will be a toss-up between Ghost of Tsushima and The Last of Us Part 2. I don't think Animal Crossing stands a chance. I think kiddie games rarely get that kind of respect.
Yeah. I could easily see it like getting other awards. I don't know how they vote for these things, man. They could easily. It is what it is. But I want Tsushima to win badly because I think it deserves it. And I realistically think this is going to Last of Us 100%. This is what it is, man. And then everyone
I
nice.
just don't think, even with my disagreement with its politics and my disagreement with how they wrote, and I don't really disagree with a ton of the politics in the game. I just disagree with how they displayed it. Um, I don't. I disagree with the story. I think the story was terrible. I don't think a game with a horrible fucking story should be in the running for Game of the Year. And I don't understand. Sometimes it just boggles me. Like, I can usually get why somebody likes something even if I think it's wrong. Like, oh, you're into this thing that you think is there, okay. Or you dig this because of that reason. Like, I don't agree with you, but, I can see it. But I just can't see why people like that game. I can't wrap my head around it. I'm so lost.
It's brave. All right. Well, so like I said, the Game Awards on the 10th. Let us know what you guys think. What's gonna win? What? Hit us up. We want to hear from y'all. But we will be trying to. I'll be definitely trying to stream this. I think it's during the evening, December 10th. So I'm gonna try and get the day off and stream it. Hope you guys can come by, hang out, and we'll talk about how the things shit and maybe see some cool announcements because that's always a good side part when it comes to these things.